Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my AlienStage deep dive series, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be watching AlienStage, and I'm going to explain it as it goes for the people who are confused, for the people who watched AlienStage and went, what the fuck is happening? A lot of people asked me to do this from the very beginning, so I'm finally doing it. And as you can see, we're in a different space. We are downstairs in the living room. My poor parents gave it up for however long this is going to take. I don't know if you can see, but there is a ring light right next to my head, so I'm a little bit blinded. Anyways, I'm going to be putting non-copyrighted music over this because, well, I don't want to get copyrighted. So, of course, we're going to start it off with round one. A lot of people actually think that this is their first time meeting, which I'm almost 100% certain it was not. Because in the True Face comic, Mizzy meets Sua when she was sat under a tree. This entire round, honestly, isn't as deep, or there's not as much things to look into, because it's literally just about their love for each other, how deep it goes, how much they depend on each other, and how much they are each other's gods, as we come to realize. This right here is a mechanical fish, and this is why I'm making this video, because in the background over here, I don't know if you can see it, because it might be going off screen a little bit, but there is a clear box. They are not actually outside. They are in a simulation, a faked garden. It's really sick. It's like a breeding ground for children or for humans. They're aliens' pets. It's like when you take your dog to a kennel, but with humans, pretty much. Even if you sleep in infinity, don't leave my universe. How didn't we realize from the beginning how dependent they were on each other? I still don't understand how we, as an AlienStage fandom, including me, didn't realize how toxic these two were until way later on in the series. I don't even know when it became apparent to us, but it definitely wasn't when round one was out. That whole bit was about how aliens came down, they destroyed humanity, they kidnapped the humans, they kidnapped the kids, and they took them far away into their own planet or their own universe, where they used humans as pets. This is where they created the singing competitions, where they sing to death because it's their own entertainment. This is one of the things that I really like about AlienStage that is kind of ignored. It humanizes the sort of things that we do to animals. What the aliens are doing to them is what we kind of do in our own way. Kidnap these people, they've used their DNA, they've used their bodies, and they've used their genes, and they've put it together to make these perfect kids. Ones that are adorable or pretty to the aliens, just like you would a dog or a cat. And they kill them off whenever they go against the rules. They hurt them when they go against the rules, or they neutralize them, put them in collars. Pretty disgusting, right? And this behind Mizi and Sua is the scoreboard. Whoever scores higher wins, whoever scores lower loses, and the loser, as we are about to see, dies. When I first watched AlienStage, I actually thought that it was Mizi that died, but then I soon realised that that wasn't the case. I don't know why I was so dumb. But as we saw before, she was singing about, even if I sleep in infinity, please stay in my universe. And now she's saying, please stay by my side, because obviously Sua's dead now, and she basically promised that she would always be with Mizi, but now she's left Mizi. Here is a collar. So the collars is literally a tracker of your heartbeat. If it's green, your heartbeat is calm, so you are happy, or you are neutral, you aren't angry, you aren't distressed. But when it's red, it means that your heartbeat is really uneven, and it literally just shows how distressed Mizi is, and anybody else that has a red collar. Almost certain that Sweet Dream is about what Sua thought before she went into round 1, because she's talking about white dress dyed red, the morning probably won't come to me. She knows she was gonna die. I mean, we know that now, but back then we didn't. Yeah, this is singing about round 1 and how they wanted their stage presence to be, because Mizi and Sua had actually been dreaming of this day for years. Mizi had a whole outfit plan, a hair plan, she had the lot, and Sua had her own plans, obviously, which were less than happy like Mizi's. A lot of people missed this. If we go here, we just quickly throw the playback speed down to 0.25. Hyuna right here has just hallucinated Hyunwoo, who is her dead little brother. We see him later. And here, you can actually see like the texture PNG where they've built this fake hallway, or, you know, this fake space for the kids to be in, because it's all artificial, it's all a simulation, and this really shows how fake it all is. This is all about Sua's death, about how Mizi will gain strength, or how Sua will gain strength, one of the two. But it's about building strength and working on what is difficult. It's about how Sua is never going to see the light of day again, how she's going to be stuck in darkness. And she's saying, my father, my universe. Yeah, I think the my father, my universe, obviously Sua talks about Mizi and says that Mizi is her universe and her god. So I really think that she's talking to Mizi here. It's basically just a show of their dynamics. Till kind of leaning away from Ivan, and Ivan desperately trying to, you know, get his attention. It's pretty straightforward. Luca is rage baiting Hyuna. No, I'm joking. Well, actually kind of is the case. Hyuna has a very much love-hate relationship with Luca. She doesn't know whether she loves him or whether she hates him. This is Acorn. That's not important, I'm sorry, it's just this is Acorn. So, one thing that a lot of people also don't know is that Till actually changed the lyrics and the entire song, which is why Acorn looks so scared right here, because he has no clue what's going on. Till has just completely sabotaged him. He's basically guaranteeing his win, which is kind of why it annoys me when people hate on Luca, because Till's done the same thing, if not worse, because at least Luca kind of eases into it, but Till's just straight off the bat gone, I'm killing you off. Do you know what I mean? So I have no words for how horrific this is. So he's just looked at Mizi, who is distraught after her girlfriend just died, and still goes on to sing about his obsession with her and his love for her. Now, you can say all you want that this song is not about his love for Mizi, but it is. It's stated in Patreon that it is a love song for Mizi, and that it's about Till's childish obsession for her, and that it's about how he idolizes her and sees her as something beautiful, perfect, untouchable. Was very shallow. He knew nothing about her, and he didn't try to because he was too scared of ruining this perfect image. It was still, it's not love, but in his mind it was love. Him getting thrown into a wall, he is severely abused by his owner. I just want to draw attention to this really creepy thing. What is that? What is that? Anyways, here we can see a different type of collar, which goes around the wrists, and it's just cuffs, basically. And he's holding flowers, which we see very consistently through AlienStage, because he thinks they're really pretty. Let's bring attention to this as well. Sorry, I can't get over that. So here, this is all of his sheets of music for Unknown and Changing the Song. You see not one, but two drawings of Mizi. I could go as far as saying a drawing of Ivan. That little smile, black eye, bug eyes. Ivan. I refuse to believe that that isn't Ivan. In this bit, he's actually really struggling to sleep. He couldn't get to sleep, which was very usual for Till. He always struggled with sleep, he struggled with insomnia, so he would stay up and work himself to the bone by writing music, playing his guitar, to perfect it and to get better at it, which I'm pretty certain was actually for Mizi, and also for his love of music, but he also really wanted to impress Mizi with this song, with how much he could speak English as well. And then obviously we can see the cameras here, and he's locked in a room. This is very Till behaviour. He acts out a lot, and aliens don't really treat him right because of it. So he gets studied and confined a lot. Really funny about that lyric there with the I don't care if my world turns upside down, I want to know all about you, is such bullshit. Because Till doesn't want to know everything about her. He wants her to stay perfect in his eyesight. He doesn't care about getting close to her, which is a sad fact. Scared of it, because he thinks that she's so perfect that he can't get close to her. Poor Acorn just realized he's gonna die, so he obviously was like roaring to try and, you know, get the attention back to him. So Till blew up his guitar, which was actually an alien. This guitar was not an actual electric guitar, it was quite literally a living being called Freddy. Freddy is my favourite alien, because look how cute he is. Mizi had not looked up for the entire thing. She didn't care, because her wife just died. I'm confused. I've always been quite confused. Why is there just like a circle shadow on his head? Obviously, bleeding head, just got his head shoved into the floor, being abused. I'm pretty certain. I don't know if he just passed out or what. And then here we get Ivan, who is not very happy because the love of his life just sung about his love of his life, who is actually a lesbian. As I was saying, we don't need to care about Marty or Acorn. They are both NPCs and mean absolutely nothing. I love them both, but they mean nothing to the story. So here, Ivan is actually in the slums still. I'm pretty certain this was actually when he first got kidnapped. Ivan, if you didn't know, there is a short comic on Patreon. Isaac, one of the rebellion leaders, which we'll learn about more later, Isaac actually found Ivan and tried to save him, and Ivan refused. So Isaac said, okay, well, go through this passageway and we will help you. If you change your mind, come with us. Ivan let his guard down and went to the passageway, but he got found by the aliens and kidnapped. right here, I can't reach you, so I imagine alone. And then he's kind of gazing up at the stars, which makes you think he's singing about them. He does love the stars. But right now, he's singing about Till and how much he can't reach him. So he makes up this fantasy in his head, which we see a pattern of in both of his sub-songs. You who shine, I stand next to you, and then obviously the chorus hits, and he talks about so black, black as it can be. I don't know how this guy isn't the emo of AlienStage, but whatever. He sings about, you know, like, black as it can be, and he's talking about himself. He sees Till as this really bright light, and he sees himself as something dark that belongs in the shadows. And right here, he is being dangled off of a building. And there are crying kids in the background, you know. I don't know if this was a test, maybe, to see who is most durable or most likely to get into an act or survive it. I'm not sure. This bit right here, I really like because it kind of shows how not monotone, but how monotone his life is, because he really does just take everything in stride. He doesn't take life as his own, he lets it take him. So he sits in silence like a little obedient puppy, doing absolutely nothing to fight against the harm that is being caused. And obviously, as you can see, his owner is very rich, so he got showered with a lot of gifts since he was a kid. You know, he's always perfect, he's always in line. He's not rebellious whatsoever. You see the flower crown again. Okay, well, I missed it there. But we see the flower crown again. I told you the flowers would be a pattern in this. So you can actually... the black middle and the white around it, the flowers are actually cameras to spy on the children, and Ivan knows this. I'm not 100% sure how he set this up, but he actually did this on purpose and did things to lure Till, to get Till's attention, to make Till do things, to see how he would react. And here, he's making... I don't know how he's done it, but the flower crown flies past him into this cave-looking thing. But here, Till's running in and Ivan's following. That tunnel led to an alien and Mizi. With said alien, Mizi was scared and Till was basically coming to save the day. Ivan did this on purpose. It's stated in the Patreon. And obviously, guys, I know that like a lot of people say it's in the Patreon and then it's not in the Patreon. But I can't show Patreon content because it's illegal. It's paid content. I can't just show it online. If you want to go and check it out, you can. It will be on the round 3 epilogue, the round 2 epilogue. Anything I say is in the Patreon, it will be there. Unless I mix up the Patreon and the art book as to where the information is placed. Ivan lured Till into here to see what he would do. To see what he would do to help Mizi. It doesn't really matter that much. But anyways, his eyes dilate after this part. The reason why that happens is because Ivan is absolutely blown away by how different Till is compared to the other children. He knows that nobody else would rebel against the aliens like this. They would stand there and take it, including himself. But Till stood up, fighting against this beast that is 10 times his size. And that's a really big reason why Ivan is so infatuated with Till, is because of how different he is. This is Ivan's owner, right here. I don't know what that means, whether it means lower your voice, change pitch, I don't know, but probably something to do with music. I don't know what music is about, so... someone else can tell me. Speaking about the dark sea gets deeper as you approach, this is talking about his own self-pity. Don't know how to phrase this, but his low self-worth basically gets worse as Till approaches. Like, Till is so amazing to him that if he's close, then Ivan doesn't mean as much. And here, Till is in constraints. And here we can see a meteor shower. Ivan helps Till out of the restraint. He took Till to run away. He showed him the escape because he saw how Till longed for freedom, so he attempted to give Till this freedom that he had been longing for. Here, Till is actually listening to Ivan's song, and if we just turn off the captions, we can see the green light. Don't know why. Well, I know why he's calm, and it's because it's Ivan. Ivan always makes Till feel very comforted and very calm. He helps Till in the hardest of times, and Till really, really respects that. Till had some regrets. He looks around and then he turns around and runs away, which is more than depressing. But the reason why he ran away is because he couldn't stand to leave Mizi. Yep. He couldn't stand to leave Mizi. He left the only chance of freedom he got to go back for a lesbian. That "you are always for me" always breaks my heart, because he really does. He doesn't want anyone but Till. And it's honestly just depressing. To me, you are Black Sorrow. You can take that in many ways. You can take that in the sense that Ivan sees himself as a lot smaller than Till, or you could take it how I take it. Like, Till is a star to him. Till is a light in the black darkness of the night. That rhymed. Vivi Meng hire me. Here at the end, we see Luca. I don't know who this dead girl is. Don't ask me, okay? I know I'm the one making a video on it. I don't know who that is. The only inkling that I have is it's the person that he went against before Mizi. And I don't know why this freak kissed her hand. I mean, okay, no, I do. Okay, so I'm pretty certain he kissed her hand because he felt empathetic. It kind of shows his guilt for how he wins these rounds and how he knows that it's violent and how he knows it's not quite right, but he also has too much fun on stage to really care about it. I'm pretty certain it's this girl right here that he won against that's dead in that bathtub right now. You can hear the difference in the cheers. And play it back. It just shows how popular Luca is. He is adored by the aliens. I've actually seen a few people misconstrued this episode. Luca is not in love with Mizi. Luca is not in love with Mizi. This is not to try to grab Mizi, okay? He's not interested in her. He's singing about Huna whilst keeping his manipulation tactics in place. We will learn about Huna later, but he's singing about the love of his life whilst keeping his tactics in place to make sure that Mizi is as uncomfortable as possible. You even outburn the sun, my star. He thinks very highly of Huna. See, look, he's touching her up, but he has no interest in her. He's doing this to really put her off, and it's clearly working. You can see how distressed she is here, and it's all Luca's plan working. Right. This is his plan coming full circle. So Luca, the way that Luca does things is he finds out the person that he's going against biggest trauma, what stresses them out the most. He observes them, he watches their rounds, he does anything he can to figure out what will set them off. Obviously, he watched Mizi's round and he realised just how upset Sua's death made her. So he is acting like Sua, or getting all up in Mizi's face to try and remind her of Sua in order for her to start hallucinating her, to basically drive her over the edge into losing the round. The background Sickening detail I didn't notice until like my 100th rewatch of this show. Sewer is in the background. That might actually be something that's really obvious to everybody, but I didn't realize it until like only a few months ago, really. He uses TVs, which also happens in the final round, but he uses TVs to stress the person out more. Like in the final round, there's Ivan in the background, and here there's Sewer. Here she's literally just beating Luca up because of what he did to her. He made her extremely uncomfortable. He made her hallucinate Sewer. He made all these bad memories come back to her. So she's just beating the shit out of him, which is totally valid. This is Luca's owner, absolutely horrified at his little toy getting beaten up. Is obviously very happy with himself because his whole plan has worked. Mizi has now officially lost. Well, I mean, maybe a lot of people know this, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but from my experience, a lot of people don't know this. There are actually humans inside of those suits. They're not robots, they're humans. This is where things get confusing for everybody. Basically, Smoke Bomb went off, and the Rebellion are here to save Mizi. This is Huna. Okay, so this is Huna, Luca's, like, you know, wife, whatever. And she saw herself in Mizi from the very beginning, so she's basically come to save her from the pain that she knows she'll go through. And then here, there's, like, this whole Mizi's gone missing because obviously she got taken by the Rebellion. Top 3 and mizisua, which a lot of people haven't watched. Watch it, guys. Watch it. I mean, it's not actually that important, to be fair, but we've got protests happening. We've got Ivan doing, I can't say the word, but like that really like cutesy thing that idols do where they try to be cute. And then we've got Till doing a middle finger because, you know, that's just who Till is. A lot of people have pointed out the fact that he doesn't use the right finger. This is an advertisement to have human as pets, which is actually very similar to if we just, you know, do this. Dog pet advertisement. This look familiar to you guys? Look familiar? Look familiar? Look familiar? Okay, no, sorry, okay, alright. Sorry, back on track. So, this is Ivan's modelling career. He is a #1 popularity, you know, he's very, very loved. Is all of his sponsors right here. Like, because of how much he rebels, the aliens actually really don't like Till. They find him amusing. Let's say they like watching him rebel, so he ended up being very popular. Finger for the middle finger. I don't like, what's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Like, he's being tied up. I think what people would usually do with that, not that. So I don't know, maybe he is just pointing up to the sky, or he's got the wrong finger for the middle finger, but can we not sexualize this scene? Because he's just being taped up by the mouth and he's being thrown around. And here we've got Luca. This snow is actually ashes from dead people. Luca is like the prince, right? He's the king. He's known as the best, right? So this is kind of what this is a symbol of, which is showing the prayer to... I don't know who this is showing a prayer to, but look, there's like all of these kids praying to whatever the fuck this thing is. I don't know, it's really, really weird. I'm pretty certain, I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong, pretty certain that this is where the aliens drop off their kids to be taken into an act garden. It's like a bus or a train station, but for aliens. I think Mizi was just saying bye to Shine, her guardian, and then obviously Sua's... Oh, she's so tiny. Sua's, like, you know, being ignored by her owner or whatever because she isn't loved. Shine... I don't know who all these people are, because I know who Shine is, but I don't know who these guys are, but I know they have, like, relation with Shine or whatever. They're, like, you know, very upset to see their little Mizi going away. Mizi is crying for whatever reason, even though she literally begged them to take her to an act. I suppose she's crying because she's had to say bye to them, which is, like, valid or whatever, but... Sorry, that's my alarm. I don't know what these tentacles are. Don't know where they're coming from. I don't know if it's like toys that like Shine has give her for the journey to like keep her comfort or to keep her having fun, and like she's... I don't really know. Again, is like the perfect depiction of how Sua is seen as a doll, and she always has been seen as a doll. She's dressed very childlike. I know she's a child here, but you know what I mean. Yeah, they've like... It's like there's still an alien in there with her. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's like a transport system to an act. Obviously, Mizi is very distraught to see Sua leaving, and then we get this absolutely heartbreaking shot of Mizi after she's been saved by the rebellion, you know, crying in bed. This is Hyuna here, and she's all over the news because obviously she is a danger. Well, she's a danger to the aliens, you know what I mean? Like, she likes to kill them. Look, see what I mean? Like, she's tied them up. And here they've got like the whole planning board. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's out of frame. And then we've got the wanted posters for Hyuna all around the place. You know, there's people gambling, drinking. It's like a massive party. It's like humanity is humanity again. And here, you know, she's stealing the show because, you know, she's beautiful. She's really good at singing. She's got a very powerful stage presence. This is basically just Hyuna singing about how, you know, she takes this life as her own. She's very confident. She's very strong. She's very aware of how, you know, amazing she is and, you know, stuff like that. That isn't sarcasm. Hyuna actually is amazing and she's aware of it. We only get one life, so I'm living mine for me. I love that. Because there is, apart from Till, no other character in AlienStage with that mindset. And then here is Dewey, who... Stop shipping Hyuna with Dewey. Stop it. Sorry. It's like... I'm pretty sure he's pushing, like, 47. Right now, he's like an old man. But he's old, right? Like, stop shipping them. She sees him as a brother. So can we not? I mean, you know what? Ship who you want to ship. I'm all for that, but she does see him as a brother, so I find it a bit odd. This is all, you know, she's singing about how she's going to change the world. She's going to make the world a better place. She's going to put it back to how it was. This is Hyunwoo, right here. This is Hyunwoo, the little boy. This is Hyuna. Those two are twins. I'm pretty sure she's slightly older, though. And this is baby Luca. He's so small. And you know how he's, like, eating his sleeve? That's because he is both mentally regressed, so he is mentally stunted, and he is starved by his owner, and it leads him to doing shit like that, like eating his sleeve because he's so hungry. He needs comfort, he longs for it, and he's just getting oral stimulation. I need to check this is still recording. Sweet. Isaac, Dewey. So we've already seen Dewey once. This is Isaac. Again, don't ship them, they're brothers. Sorry, but they're brothers. They're brothers. Like, they're not biologically brothers, but they're brothers. There's actually a really cute picture of Isaac when he was a kid running to Dewey and like hugging him, and it's so cute. I love that art. But they are brothers, they're siblings. Stop shipping them, guys. They're very close. They love each other. It's great. Love them. And here we can see Luca in the background. Una is kind of like looking ahead, and this is very much symbolism for how she kind of ignores Luca. She tries to act like he doesn't get to her, and she tries to act like, you know, she hasn't got an issue with him, when in reality she really struggles with that. You know, like, she's going all crazy, right? Because she's thinking about Luca. Really, really distresses her. So here, okay, let's break this down. So we get, first off, so here we have, you know, Hyuna and Hyunwoo, very happy brother-sister type stuff. And then we see here, okay, so, okay, I'm gonna get shot for this. I don't think that this was sexual assault. Why don't I think that this was sexual assault? Okay, let's break it down. They are in a garden, right? And he's, you know, obviously he is like all over her, blah, blah, blah. And he's crawling on top of her, very clearly making her uncomfortable. I'm not doubting that in the slightest. But we have to remember that I'm pretty sure this was after Hyunwoo had died. This is paced after Hyunwoo had died. And Luca was all over her because he wanted comfort. Let me find it for you. Over to after Hyunwoo had died. We can see these frames where Luca is all over Hyuna and he really wants her comfort. See? He's all over her. This is literally in a graveyard and he's like hugging her and he's trying to get her attention because he misses when it was on him. So that's why I don't personally think it was sexual assault. It was definitely uncomfortable for Hyuna and I'm not putting that aside. But at the same time, Luca was very much like this after Hyunwoo died because he finally had her to himself and he just wanted her comfort. I don't feel comfortable saying that he sexually assaulted her. Definitely was like harassment of some form, but I don't think it was Costco. Costco? Yeah, Costco. I don't think it was Costco, which is child-on-child sexual assault. And here, you know, Luca's blushing, but again, it's not because he's happy. I don't think Luca realised what he did until he realised too late, and obviously his fingertips went purple because his heart rate is going absolutely insane, as we can see by the red collar, and he already has very unstable heart rate in the first place, and there's like blood underneath him, so it makes me think that something triggered him to push Hyunwoo onto the rock, but we don't know anything for certain yet. I'm sure we'll find out soon. This is like every obstacle in my way, I've crushed them all. We get, see, look, step all over me, but I'll rise again, and like a snapshot of Luca in the background. Luca has ruined her, but she still loves him. Sadly enough. You who's in the wrong, bet you had no idea. Again, it's Luca who's in the wrong, and he had no idea. I don't know how many times I have to say this to Luca haters. I hate Luca all you want, but like, come on guys. He wasn't aware. I'm not saying that makes it right, but he quite literally didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't realise it until it was too late, and now he's facing the consequences of his actions. And he still doesn't fully understand what's going on. Controversial opinion, I love her with short hair. Short-haired Mizi is my favourite version of Mizi, and my hair is heavily inspired by her. I mean, not right now, but when it's a bit more grown out, I'm very inspired by her, and I dyed it pink because of her as well a couple of years back, but yeah. Hugh Mizi content right here. I'm joking. Or am I? Oh yeah, I completely forgot to explain it. So right here, you know, Hyuna's about to get, like, captured by the aliens, whatever, and then Mizi uses a gun for the first time, hence Hyuna's shock. I love this little detail. It says help in the sand, which I love, and it just shows the humanization of the robots, who aren't actually robots, they're humans. Start calling them guards, because that's what they are, they're guards. And here, in the background, is round 6. Look, Till versus Ivor. You know, and then we get more Mizi stuff. Right here, you know, missing. It's about how Mizi's missing. You know, Mizi's very... I don't know what I did there. Come back. Thank you. Come back. Come back. I don't know what's going on. And this is Till. I actually thought this was Ivan at first, but anyways, it's Till punching, you know, himself in the face. Well, himself on the screen. And I think it's because he's annoyed at the fact that Mizi's gone missing. Don't know. Okay. Okay, so the intro of this is already extremely deep. It's like flashing Till's abuse at you. And this bit right here, I hate this bit, where, like, the needle's going into the eye. Can't do it. I'm almost certainly singing about Mizi here, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what makes the most sense. Again, this is another Till scene that people need to stop using for thirst traps because he is very distressed here. So this is a karaoke or, you know, like a singing room, very popular in Korea, whatever. He's actually being forced to sing one of Mizi's songs to cause him distress and discomfort because they find it very entertaining, and he's very adamant about not singing, so, you know, he's being stubborn. They shove a mic in his face trying to force him to sing, and obviously this is his owner, who is very not happy with him. This is another scene that people use in thirst traps, and I find it disgusting because, guys, he's being abused. Not a single drop of me remains, blah blah blah. He wants to be ruined by me. It's a bit obsessive, but he basically just wants Mizi to be his everything, and he wants to be everything to Mizi, if that makes sense. He gets pushed into, like, the missing poster of Mizi, where it's, like, you know, obviously asking if she's dead, and he gets really... He's really worried about Mizi, right? He's really scared that she's not okay. And here, he's, like, you know, throwing an alcohol bottle into their faces, you know what I mean? He's starting a fight, he's getting angry at everybody for what they're doing to him. This is the frame that makes people think that he's being sexually abused. And I totally agree with them. Again, this is very much, you know, up to interpretation. But you can't tell me that this isn't absolutely fucked. He's being held down by the aliens. A scrawny guy, by the way, like, he's literally physically extremely weak, and that is canon. And, you know, an alien's holding a collar to get ready to put it on him, but they don't put it on them how they usually do. I mean, it's disgusting, it's vile. The way that he is sat there being caressed by this giant alien, and the alien's clothes are, like, off. His clothes are off. He's sweating. He's been drugged, which is canon. He did get drugged. He's, like, reaching out to this hallucination of Mizi. It's disgusting. Right here, when we get the little flash of Till. He's 50% off. Look how cute he looks, for one. Look at him, little cutie. But he's 50% off. He's on sale because he's ugly. Bless him. And look, he's the only person with a bloody collar around his mouth because he won't shut up. Here, Ivan's coming in, taking the collar off Till, basically taking care of him, you know, just making sure he's okay. This is what the newest birthday art is after, by the way, or... No, the newest birthday art is before this, because look, he's in the same outfit, he's in the same lighting. If we just quickly pop over to... Yes, I have Vivinos on the top of my screen, shut up. we can see right here, he's in the same outfit. Look, you've even got the same thing here. You know, I mean, so they've been forced to do very similar things, but I think because Till didn't allow them to do what they wanted, he got worse treatment because of it. So that's why Ivan isn't in a drugged state. Again, you know, we got Ivan singing about his obsession with Till, how much he wants him to absolutely ruin him, how much he's just obsessed with Till, his personality. This is a very running theme with Ivan. Okay, so this is again with the flower crown. So Ivan is stepping on it and like breaking it. And this time it was partially to wind Till up, but it was actually because it's got cameras in it and he was trying to protect Till from the cameras inside of the thing. And then obviously Till got all mad at him, and Ivan was actually very amused by this because he found it very entertaining that Ivan had Ivan found it very entertaining that Till had such a reaction. Look at him. I get such cuteness aggression over the AlienStage, like when they were like little babies. Look at them, they're so cute. But sorry, that's so off topic. But yeah, he's all, you know, watching Till draw, very, very observant and watching his every move. The hoodie came off again. You guys don't understand how hot it is in this house, man. Ugh. And like, I know you're probably thinking, Phoebe, you should probably take off the hat. It might be making you way hotter than you should be. Yeah, I know, but I can't be bothered to do my hair before every video, so. Anyways, so we've got Ivan here, you know, like, getting very close to the alien's teeth. Again, it's like he's very interested by different things or unknown things that he isn't used to. And he likes to, like, feel things out and understand them. Am I tweaking? Am I tweaking? Yeah, I'm tweaking. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. Oh, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's not the same thing. Look, not got the same head shape. Anyways, so, you know, very interested in the aliens, their teeth, whatever. I'm pretty sure this was still him planning something with Till, though. I can't remember what it was specifically. Why would they make that connection? Why would they put that before that if it wasn't the same alien? It's so off topic. But anyways, here again we see Till is passed out once more, got a cut on his face, you know, connected sees wire things. He's passed out, and, you know, us again, you know, observing him, comforting him, and, like, being very gentle with him, you know. I don't want to say touching him up, but I literally lack of better phrasing. He's just loves to do that. You know, he loves to feel him out, and that sounds so wrong, but you know what I mean. And here, you know, like, we have the flashes to when Till ran away from him when they were running away from AlienStage. You know, the thing is like, I'm not really doing a lyrical analyzation, because I think that anyone can really grasp it if they just watch the lyrics or read the lyrics. But this whole bit is literally just about Ivan singing about how obsessed he is with Till. And I think that's quite obvious, and that's why I'm kind of focusing on the picture parts, which is what most people I know struggle with, because I've made my entire family watch AlienStage, right? And I'm basically treating this like I'm watching it with them. And I know which bits confuse them the most. It's like these flashing images that seem like they mean nothing, but they mean a lot. Here, I genuinely have nothing to say. Ivan's just being a freak. He's trying to get Till's attention like he usually does, but by opening his cut and making it bleed more, I don't know. Why did he lick it? Why did he lick it? Here we see him, like, reaching out to, you know, take off the collar like he usually does for Till. it says face to face we dance, it actually would make more sense if we had the beta version of Cure, where Ivan and Till were actually meant to be dancing. Let me see if I can find the photo for it. Or it's not here. Okay, I give up. I'm just gonna leave that bit out. Here, Till has stopped singing. So, okay, let's just look back at the beginning for a second. Here, you know, Till looks all depressed, and that's because Mizi's gone missing. And here, he stopped singing because he's just given up on life. He is so depressed. He is so done with everything that he's given up. When Ivan takes his chance to, you know, because basically what went through Ivan's head at this point was, yo, mate, if you're dying, I'm dying type thing. Like, Ivan knows that if Till were to die, Ivan wouldn't be able to live with himself. Whereas he knows that if he were to, like, Ivan knows if he were to die, Till would be able to live on. It's very similar to the mizisua dynamic in that sense. If you watch this bit and go, oh my god, boyfriends, unfollow me. Sorry, no, don't unfollow me. I very really love the fact that you're subscribed to me. But I disagree with you very harshly, because look how uncomfortable my baby looks. Look at him. He does not want this kid. And like, look at that, you know what I mean? And like, Ivan looks very blasé about it. He's acting like he is the most mature guy on the world, like he's really clever, like he had this all planned out, but he did not. This was all an impulsive, it was all impulsive on his feelings. Like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely a hint of like him sacrificing himself, but the majority of it was him pouring his feelings onto Till selfishly to convey them one last time before he died. Not really a sacrifice. I mean, don't get me wrong, in a way it was, but that was not his main purpose. Ivan's very proud of the fact that his score has been lowered. Okay, so one thing that I found really weird about this is, look, they're shooting him everywhere but his neck. Usually when they shoot, it wasn't even like he was a hard target to hit because he stood still, right? And they are just shooting him in the stomach, the shoulder, when in every other time they've shot them directly into the neck. They were clearly trying to save Ivan because they love Ivan, right? They favor Ivan over pretty much anybody else, even especially over Till. So they want Ivan to live through this. They wanted to be able to remake him, kind of, and, you know, keep him alive because they love him so much. Now he's dead, and Till is very distraught because, remember, Ivan was his best friend. Ivan was Till's best friend. So, you know, Till is absolutely destroyed, and he has every right to be. And then here we have more Isaac Dewey. It was like they found out that Huna's been shot, because look, Huna was like shot and before, and now she's like dealing with the pain of it or whatever, and they're being caught mid-plan. Also, the lyrics in this one aren't really that deep, to be honest. They're not as deep as the other songs anyway. And obviously we get an amazing, beautiful, glorious shot of Luca here. And here, we can actually see the surgical scars all over Luca's body. Obviously, purple fingertips because of his heart disease. Little metal name there. And you can see his ribs, which is sick. This is when it hits Mizi that Ivan's dead. That's not official, but one of my favourite, you know, headcanon type things is this is when she realises that Ivan's dead and that Till is probably going to die next. So she, even though it goes against the plan, is like really wanting to save Till. That is a show of what Ivan does. He actually has a holographic, whatever it's called, guitar, because he obviously broke Freddie last time. Luca just pulls out a violin. I can't lie, watching this for the first time, this part made me giggle. And here, this is like Mizi like trying to run to get Till. You know, and like Huna's like, you know, girl, stop it, you're gonna ruin our plan, blah blah. First time watchers of AlienStage. That is not blood on his trousers, it's just a design choice. And here there's like, this is like Ivan's eye, to me. It looks like Ivan's eye in Black Sorrow. This is like Mizi making her way to Till. Just trying to go on with the plan here and save everybody that she can. Luca, I love you, but he's fully singing like Ivan. He's talking about Ivan, and he's touching Till like Ivan. What's incredible is that he's touching Till very harshly, right? And it doesn't really work on Till at first. Till, because Ivan, even though in his final moments were very rough with Till, before that he had been very gentle with him, so this didn't really work. It just kind of stressed him out and made him think, yo, Luke, you're kind of a perv. People are like, it looks like Ivan's eyes, that's why he's so distressed. No, he has snipers pointing directly at him. He's about to get sniped, of course he's stressed out. People thought that, like, Luca had turned off his mic. It was just something that singers do, you know what I mean, when, like, they touch. Then, you know, Luca laughs at him. Which I missed for the first couple of watches, to be honest. Whole flashback here. You know what, I'm gonna have to mute this because here we are. Boop. Okay, so here we have, like, you know, Till's having his flashbacks and then he gets very stressed out, nosebleed, you know, and this right here is the same trick that he used on Mizi, where he had photos of their loved ones in the background to really stress them out. That was him in Black Sorrow, that's him in round 6, and obviously, you know, Luca's walking around parading the show. And here, with his gentle touch, his manipulation tactics finally work fully, and Till fully sees Luca as Ivan. But then, obviously, you know, Luca, bloody hell. Till looks down, sees Mizi, you know, and he's very happy because he's like, yo, I thought Mizi was dead! But no, she's alive. So, you know, he starts running over to her all whimsically, very, very happy, you know, and it's all going great and jolly, and then not so much. Because he gets shot. But have no fear, Mizi is here. This little, flashback. We get this whole flashback of them as kids, very cute, very cute. Then we have that sickening transition that Vivian Meng loves to do, where it's like child to adult. Till's dead. Well, at least we think he is. And then, you know, dead. We get more Huna and Luca crumbs. Okay, now it's time for weige. So this is starting straight off the bat from the final round, which is very different from the other rounds where we kind of had like a break in between them. So obviously, okay, so here Luca goes from being sassy king to whatever this is. And that's because of just how much he loves Huna that it triggers his mental regression to be like 10 times worse than it usually is. Now, why didn't he react this way in round 5? Because he saw Huna in round 5, right? We remember that. But why didn't he react this way? And that's like a big question, because like, why did he go from being nonchalant boss to this? And I really think it's because the smoke bomb was so unclear that he couldn't tell, and obviously like his eyes were swollen, so he wouldn't be able to see clearly. You know, it's a whole thing. But here he finally has full view of her, and he's very joyous. You know, and Huna's very, you know, nonchalant, like, get out of my sight. And look, his little earpiece is red for the first time in the entirety of this season, or episodes, whatever you want to call it. Because of just how happy he is to see her. And here, the gun is pressed to his head. Now, what is a really big fact about Luca that is wildly unknown? Luca is terrified of death, yet we see him completely ignore the gun. He is terrified of death, and he's ignoring the fact that he's about to get shot because Huna is right there, and that really shows his childish innocence in this shot. Here we see all of his clones, and he's killed them all, like he's ripped them out of his bubble. And that's because Luca is very scared to be replaced. Luca feels like he has to be the best or he's not enough. So he killed all of his clones so no one could replace him. And, you know, he pulls this thing. I don't really know why he pulled that thing, but I'm guessing it's so the aliens would come over and, like, help him or whatever. As we see now. And here, we've got him counting his fingers. And that was actually a grounding technique for Luca to remind himself that he's alive and that he's living a real life and that it's not a dream and that he's not dead. It's a way to remind himself. It's a way to ground himself. We see little Hyunwoo over in that corner. We're going to have to be changing the speed of this one a lot this time because there's a lot of very flashy images that you don't really catch on to. And then this is how Hyuna lost her leg. I don't actually know, but like something fell on it, you know, ripped it off. That was more Hyunwoo crumbs right there. I don't know if you saw that. More Hyunwoo crumbs. Hyuna being an alcoholic crumbs. Hyuna very much relies on alcohol and partying and singing and acting like she's the best to basically hide from her issues. Here, look, we've got Dewey over here, and then we've got some kids. You know what I mean? I think that's a kid anyway. It looks like it. Yeah, it's a kid. And like she's like showing off her leg to them or showing them her leg, I'm not sure. But they're very interesting. Like she's always been very good with kids. And look, here she is again, like, you know, like playing, partying. That's Isaac right there. Okay, so this is like, I'm guessing that this is the rebellion, and then it switches to them, to her as kids. So it's like the two sides of her life. The one where she was at an act with the kids, and the one where she is with the rebellion. We just got more Hyunwoo crumbs, and you definitely didn't see it at first watch. Let's skip forward a little bit. So we've got this, and then we've got Hyunwoo crumb. This was, I don't know if this was a hallucination or if this was he's fell and hurt himself and this is just it, or if it's like she's seeing things after he died and hit his head on the rock. I'm not sure. And then, yeah, we've got crying Mizi. Because I'm pretty sure they were arguing about Sua here. And here, obviously, there's, like, you know, Luca's connected to all this medical equipment. And that's his little asthma mask so he can breathe properly. This is depressing because he misses Hyuna so much that he put the wanted poster right in front of his bed, all over his room. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 posters of you. Oh my god, and the rest of them all over his little medical room. And he's like kissing it because he just misses her so much. And then there's the flower cameras yet again. This seems to be the round 5 idea. Like, he made it. That's the Rubik's Cube, which he absolutely adores. If we go to the Horizon Walk, look, he loves playing with Rubik's Cubes and figuring them out. And here we've got little shots of the Annex 4 children. And here, this is actually, Mizi was going to have the white dress at first. And look, you can see Sua in Mizi's dress because they actually switched costumes last minute. And then she was like, oh, this would actually look better on you. And you see right here when Sua looks down, That's because she saw Mizi's boobs. That is canon. She looks down, not because she's shy, it's because she saw Mizi's boobs. Look at that reaction. Anyways, this is Till making his costume. And then got Marty Crumbs here. He's eating slop. And then, Ivan's also eating slop. Very important, riveting content. This is, again, in the graveyard. I showed you it before. But Luca is, again, look, he's all over Huna after the death because he just wants to be close to her and he feels really guilty about what he's done. But look at that little smile. Because he just loves being close to Huna. And this is a drawing that Huna... bloody hell, man. This is a drawing that Luca made. And look, there's like multiple hymns everywhere. And there's like something scribbled out here. The tree, Hyunwoo, Huna, and him holding hands. It's so precious and so sad. Like the little music notes everywhere. Yeah, it's depressing. This is underneath the sewers, and they actually drunk the water from the drains. Like, they would go up to the drains and, like, drink from it. That's how they got their waters down in the slums. Like, outside of Enact, because Enact was, like, where the rich people are, right? So outside of it, when they lived in the slums, they would live in the sewers, and they would drink the water that came through the drains after it, like, rained or something like that. And some people actually speculate that this is baby Isaac, and I really hope it is, because that would be adorable. And then here, again, it's like the cockroach on his head. This is, pretty certain this is after Sua died. And then we've got Happy Huna. I'm not sure. That is when she's with the rebellion, I think. And then there's like a little Hyunwoo and Luca clip. Look. So, we've got Hyunwoo. My words, I'm so sorry. I'm usually this bad, but I usually cut it out. But cutting this one up is going to be difficult. Anyways, so we've got Hyunwoo here very happy, and then Luca here looks very uninterested because there is a cockroach on his head. Now, I think I got this wrong in my last video, in one of my videos about these two, because I think that Hyunwoo, I don't know if you guys can actually see this, but there's a bug on Luca's head over here. And I think that Hyunwoo puts that on people that he loves. Like, he puts bugs on people that he loves. So I'm not sure why Hyunwoo actually punched Luca later on, because I speculated that it might have been... Because, like, over here somewhere, Hyunwoo punches Luca, and I'm not sure why he does it. And then this is so confusing to first-time AlienStage watchers, but this... right here, oh wait, we're still on 0.5 playtime speed, aren't we? Yes, we are. Here, this is like an alternate universe where they're all happy and not in an act. Like, look at them, and like, we've still got Till's still an artist, and Ivan is still very popular and getting love confessions. That is, by the way, a love confession. Okay, couldn't put it down any faster, could you? But yeah, that's a love confession. Because Ivan's always been very popular. And then we've got married Huna and Luca. I literally, when I first watched this, when it first came out, I sobbed when I saw that. And here, we're back to Enact, with the Enact kids. And that's like another little bit right there. Look at his little bug eyes. But if we slow this down, we get this little frame of Luca's clinging on to Huna and Hyunwoo isn't happy about it. And that's because Hyunwoo is actually very jealous of Luca and Huna's relationship, because he feels like Luca's getting in the way of their, like, family bond. So he gets mad at Luca a lot, and, like, obviously Luca's crying there. It really shows, like, their dynamic. Like, they were best friends, but Hyunwoo was really jealous over Luca. And here we've... I love that. This was my wallpaper for ages. Again, we need to turn down this playback speed, man. Here. Because, look, we really get, like, look. Sua does not hate Till. her collar, I don't know if you saw it, but it actually went from green to orange, and, you know, obviously Till's freaking out. They're cleaning the teeth of the aliens, which I think is adorable. And, like, look, we've got, like, the little, like, look at them. They do no wrong. And this is the bit that I'm talking about, where he punches Luca. I'm really not sure why he did it, unless it was, like... Unless it was to get the bug off his head, but he likes bugs, so I'm really confused. I think that maybe it was he started a fight because of his jealousy of Huna and Luca. I don't know. It can be many things. And then here we've got more Dewey, and they're playing card games with the kids. It's very cute, very wholesome. And that very... Look, they loved doing, like, the flashy scenes in this, didn't they? Look. So here we've got Luca stood in front of his clones that are, like, all ripped up and having surgeries on. I'm guessing failed clones, and Luca's just looking at them. And, like, look, they've got, like, issues with their interior. It's really sad. And here we've got, like, look, it's just showing how Luca's age regression is really in full play here. And look, like, the way that he waddles and stuff like that, like, he doesn't walk like an adult. And obviously this is him when he was a kid. This is dead Hyunwoo. And that's Huna up there. And this is where Huna realizes that Luca is about to die. So when he runs up to her, he thinks it's going in for a hug. They're trying to shoot Luca, so Huna spins him around and gets shot herself. Look how heartbreaking that is. I hate Vivi Meng. I still think that Huna's death was pointless. There is nothing that anybody can do to change my opinion on that, because the thing is, there was no need for her to die. There was no need for it. And using it the excuse of it was her revenge is stupid. I think that it was bad writing, because why would she get revenge on Luca in the same way that Luca absolutely destroyed her? No, that might just be me. My alarm again. So this is Jacob, who we see in the Horizon Walk comic. And he is one of their good friends. He got kidnapped for 6 weeks and, like, starved and tortured. And here he's in the hospital, and he basically tells Huna to live on. He tells her to stay strong no matter what. And she's obviously... And then this is actually after... Look, this is Jacob right here. This right here, this little man here, Jacob. Because he's always been there for her when she... during everything, do you know what I mean? Like, when she lost her leg, when she first joined the rebellion, he was always there for her. He was, like, the older brother to everybody. And this, I'm really shocked, because Huna lost one of her rounds. And I really want to get more insight on this, because she's got the best stats for voice. She's got the best stats for vocals, looks, and voice. I already said voice. I'm just... oh my days. You get me. And here, she's like, it's just showing, like, the difference between Luca crying and, Luca smiling and Huna's sobbing. And then we've got the ash snow again, where, like, it's actually just dead people, which might actually be Hyunwoo. Pretty certain this is when they first met. And it was because Huna pitied Luca so much, and she was like, and then Luca realized that he could be and Luca realized he could be himself once, like, actually enjoy himself. And then we've got that sickening transition again. And then obviously she's, like, hugging Luca and telling him to live with love. And we see right here, look, like, the plane's, like, breaking off. And her, even though she's dying right now, her plan is taking place. Her plan to save AlienStage is taking place. We need to keep that in mind for the next round. Because we get a very little snippet of Mizi going absolutely insane. Okay, so here it's basically showing that Luca is still very deep into regression, right? This is like symbolism for the fact that he's sobbing over Huna's death, and he's basically in little space, right? But then Mizi punches fuck out of him and he basically snaps out of it. And here, look, he's defenseless. Like, he is defenseless. And she just beats the shit out of him, which is why that karma actually made me hate Mizi for a good few months. It took me a while to get over this. I went from being a Mizi lover to a Mizi hater, but now I'm back to loving Mizi. Anyways, and here she tells him that he needs to stop, stop pretending to be righteous. And she basically tells him how they don't deserve to live. They don't deserve to be happy. They don't deserve to be saved. And I think that is a really harsh show of how her mind works. And here he hallucinates Hyunwoo, and it really shows his guilt for the whole situation. That's Isaac, right? And she pulls the gun on him and shoots his leg, right? So we get this little, they had an argument before round 1. So before the last thing they talked about before Sua died was an argument where they were throwing each other about. And this flower that pops up seems to be a running theme in this. It's like a symbolism of death. Look, she shoots Isaac and then steals the laptop, and she's hacking the plan to make the plane come back down onto them to blow up the stage. So she's ruining one of her best friend's plan, right? Just for the sake of ruining it. Look, we see it here. Are you sure you want to proceed? And then look, it's like cancelling where the plane or the rocket ship is going and making it dive straight back down towards them. And obviously everyone's trying to stop her from doing it, but she's like hugging the laptop to make sure they cannot get to it. And look, here we see it slowly spin down. But we also see these little ghost children appear. Now, I'm not sure I'm pretty certain this is like a symbolism for who she's saving, or who she feels like she's saving. She's getting revenge for these little kids that died because of AlienStage, because of an act. This, again, with the ghost children, people comforted her a lot, and this really shows that, how comforted she was during her whole life. She was loved by everybody, and everybody just wanted her to be calm and collected. Now, here we get something that I think confused everybody at first, but this is a metaphor for their love. So this is Ivan's very forceful with his love. There's no hiding behind any, rose-coloured glasses. He's forceful with his love. He forces it onto Till, and he's very miscommunicative with it. He's very rough with it. And he feels like there's no way to talk or to communicate his feelings, but to, force it down his throat, quite literally. Here we've got Luca, who's holding Hyunwoo and Hyuna's dead bodies, because he feels like their deaths were all his fault, yet again. And he is really distraught over it. Look, he's holding his own heart over here, which is also kind of broken and dribbling, but then Hyunwoo's over here is all broken in his fist, and then he's got Hyuna's broken one in his hand over here. Do you know what I mean? He's holding on to the guilt of their deaths, and he's letting it weigh on him. And here we've got mizisua shoving it in our faces that their love is completely, what's the word? I know what word, it's real. They love each other. And they're, wearing wedding veils. Look, it's just a show of their love. Luca's is broken and heavy, and theirs is connecting and, I don't know, very vulnerable, very intimate. Got more ghost children here. I'm pretty sure that's Acorn and Marty, which is adorable. And here, pay attention to this, because I'll get back to this later. Hyuna is uncovered. She's not covered up. You'll see why that's important later. This is Mizi talking to Hyuna, and this is Sua watching people die on repeat to, practice her own death. And look, this is Sua giving Mizi her own lines. Look, the pink highlighter is Mizi, the lines that are Mizi's, and she's going over her line to give them to Mizi. And here, look, she smiles at Mizi, and then Mizi is kind of hesitant about it, and then she smiles. But you see how she looks very hesitant and she doesn't want it? Yeah. But in the background, she's talking about she was secretly rehearsing her death every night. I knew and I pretended not to. She feels very guilty about this, even though she knows deep down that she had no choice but to accept what Sua was going to do. See, a lot of people take this as Mizi not being, in love with Sua, but that's not the case. This is talking about how Mizi wasn't willing to die for Sua. Which might seem like the same thing to other people, but Mizi knows that she has more self-worth than another person, whereas Sua did not know that. This is the graveyard. I really do wonder why they were in the graveyard and who they were crying over or what they were crying over. Look here. Right here. If we come back here. Look, you can see the camera lens in the rose. Or the flower or whatever. Let's go back and, yet again, reduce the playtime speed. So this is when they were getting... Pretty certain this was when they were getting their names tattooed on. And because, like, they're together and they're, like, in, like, a surgery room. And it looks very fresh. Like, it looks very irritated and red. And she's got her arm held down there. So I'm guessing, yeah, this was definitely when they were getting the name tattooed. Or, like, lasered in or whatever. And, like, Mizi's asleep and Sua's, like, caressing her because, she's very worried about Mizi in this state. This, again, I don't think that this really happened. I think it's symbolism for the fact that Sua... I don't know, because it's really hard to say whether or not this is symbolism or if it actually happened, because Mizi's, like... Because it's like Sua's holding on for dear life, look, whereas Mizi isn't really holding on at all. And it kind of shows how Mizi was kind of, like, willing to let it go. And not willing to, like, she didn't want to, but if it had to, she would be able to cope, whereas Sua could not cope without Mizi. But Mizi could cope without Sua. Here they're, like, in, like, a bath of, like, medical equipment. I don't really know what it is, to be honest, but... And then here, like, look, there's, like, little flashes of Mizi getting beaten up. Because, obviously, like, the rebellion are trying to get their laptop back. This, again, is a metaphor. There are not actually children falling from the sky. This is a metaphor for all of the dead people she is getting revenge on. She's avenging them, sorry. She's getting revenge on the aliens for killing all of these kids. Like, this depiction of this fire coming down with all of these children in it is kind of like, hey, we're all coming back to haunt what you've done to us. It's like they're saving the innocence of the children by, well, destroying AlienStage. I find it this bit right here absolutely adorable. It makes me sick. Look at them. Babies. This is about how Hyuna is very avoidant of her feelings. She doesn't face them head on. She uses other coping mechanisms that are not healthy to help herself with it. And obviously this Luca poster is absolutely torn. Okay, Queen, we get it. You don't like him. I hate my boyfriend final boss. Look, here they're, like, fighting, and here she's, like, crying. And again, I think this is a metaphor because Hyunwoo's running away from her. And it's like a metaphor for the fact that her brothers left her type thing. Oh, look, here. We just quickly go back. Playback speed. Playback speed, my favourite thing today. She's all covered up. Luca covered up her dead body, guys. I can't stand this show. I can't stand this show. I can't stand this show. Don't know why I watch it. Don't know why I put myself through it. Can't stand it. And, like, that's more, like, Hyunwoo flashes. Vivi Meng just copy and pasted the two kids up here. But, like, look how cute these kids look. Look at them. They're adorable. So happy. Joyous. And, look, this whole thing right here of, like, we're creatures who can't seem to love without exploiting. Everyone's so pissed off at that, but Mizi really has a point here. I really think that Vivi Meng depicted humanity in such an amazing way. Look, Mizi is, like, holding Till, and then Sua is by her side like she promised. I love how two of Hyuna's closest friends are just running away from her dead body, by the way. Super good friendship there. And then, like, look, like, Mizi's still staying with Till, and Luca's still sitting with Luca's still sitting with Huna. This is when, you know, she realizes that Till's still got a heartbeat, and she's like, holy shit. Save him. Like, she goes to Rebellion to, like, make sure... Can we not? She, like, goes to Isaac to make sure, like, help, like, have the Rebellion help Till. And here we get that whole thing where, like, she runs up to Mizisua and, like, gives her a bunch of kisses, which I think is so adorable. Like, look at this. Like, Sua just looks so fed up with life, and then, like... yeah. It's sad. And here is, like, we see how they make the children. Like, look, like, all their genes have been mixed together, so, like, we've got Till and Huna, well, Till and someone over here, Mizi and Ivan, Sua, Huna, and Luca. There's this first kid over here, which is Huna and Till. And then down here, we've got Luca and Sua. Look, so this is the 7-year AlienStage tragedy tribute. So here we've got Mizi. Luca is back. He is safe, he is healthy. Not really, but here we go. And then here we've got Till, like, saving the kids. Like how Huna wanted, like, what Huna's plan was. This is the museum where everybody's, like, dead relics was held. By the way, mix of the two people that Till loved most, and Till just looks at her dead in the eyes. Obviously, Till's alive, and these scars on his neck, for anyone that hasn't read the comics, the scars on his neck are self-harm from where he's, like, dragged his nails into his skin. I don't know what I did. Yeah, okay, there we go. Anyways, Till's alive. Boom. If I just quickly throw myself up here. I'm full screen. Okay, so what was AlienStage about then? Well, it was a mix of a lot of things, and I hope that this video helped you understand it. If it didn't, let me know, because I very much just watched it and explained what was going on. I usually, in my videos, I explain what's going on, and then I explain the full picture at the end, but because AlienStage has so many little bits and bobs in it, it's impossible to do that. So, you kind of just have to get it as I go. I hope that this helped you understand it more, and if it didn't, well, then I'm really sorry. You just watched this entire thing, and it was pointless. But if it did help you, I'm glad that it did. If you have any different opinions or takes, please let me know, and I will see you all in my next video.